Welcome to Purpose. I'm your host, Corie Clark. I'm just a normal girl who decided to go for it. I created a thriving business from the ground up without sacrificing my sanity, and I believe that you can do the same. You were created on purpose, for a purpose, and I fully believe you can turn that purpose into profit. Each week, I'm going to bring you practical advice to help you live your life and grow your business on purpose. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Purpose. I am so glad that you are here. Thanks for tuning in another week. And if you have not done so yet, would you so kindly head on over to iTunes and rate the podcast, leave a review, and subscribe? I would greatly appreciate it. And be sure to tag me on Instagram when you're listening to this episode so I can say hi and see who is tuning in and where you're tuning in from. So this week's episode is actually, I'm not doing an interview. It's just me, and it's not going to be too long, I don't think. But if you listened to my episode last week with Kelsey Humphreys, at the end of our conversation, we started talking about self-care. And it's actually something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but just hadn't really taken the time to gather my thoughts around it. And so that got me thinking a little bit more. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I really want to talk about this because I think it's a super important subject, but I also think it's gotten a little twisted lately. And so whether you practice self-care or not, I think it's important. And I think it's important to talk about. And I think it's important to practice. But it's a very hot topic these days, and everyone and their brother is jumping on the self-care bandwagon. So I'm a huge fan of true self-care, and I know there are plenty of people out there that need it. There's actually a lot of people who need it and they aren't practicing it. Shout out to all the moms out there that are up all night with their babies and, trying to keep the house together, trying to keep the family alive, and they're the ones that probably need it the most and aren't taking the time to do it because they're always putting others ahead of themselves. And not just moms. There are a lot of people who are people pleasers and hustlers and perfectionists, and they just want to go, 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 and they never put themselves first. And so I do think that there are a lot of people that need it and don't practice it. And I also think there's a lot of people who have kind of gotten it a little bit twisted. So I'm sorry if this is offensive to any of you, but I just had to point out the elephant in the room. So when you're using self-care to escape from your life, instead of doing the inner work first that will actually set you free from whatever crap that's going on in there, that's not self-care. It shouldn't be used to escape your life. So, I see people escaping from their life in the name of self-care and, they're binge shopping or binge eating or drinking or, binging a Netflix show for a week straight and, other mindless activities. And none of those things are bad. And we should all be able to have some mindless fun once in a while. But true self-care means you're actually taking care of yourself. And that requires discipline. True self-care is actually a little less fun than it sounds. But true self-care means you're taking care of yourself. And that requires discipline. True self-care is actually a little less fun than it sounds. And so when you put in that work of taking care of yourself, then you do get to do all those fun things. And actually taking care of yourself looks a little bit more like going to bed at a decent time, getting enough sleep, and making your bed, and showering, washing your hair, eating healthy food that fuels your body, getting outside and moving your body, removing toxic people from your life, or doing the work in your relationships, or maybe learning something new that you've been putting off, or making that dreaded phone call, or maybe it's going to therapy or counseling. So they're actually all like really simple things. They're just not always that easy to do. So I feel like if you put in the effort to do these things and to really take care of who you are, then you won't need to escape. And then you actually can enjoy a day at the spa or a day shopping or whatever it is that you want to do, because it's not an escape. It's a gift to yourself for remaining faithful, for showing up, for putting in the work of living a big, full life. And so maybe it's time that you just need to take a little assessment of your life and see where you're feeling like you need self-care, and really ask yourself why you feel that way. Like, what have you been letting go that you shouldn't? Or what have you been holding on to that you shouldn't? How have you been treating yourself that leads to this this exhaustion and this overwhelm? You know, if you sit and take a look at your life, you should be able to see where things really aren't going the way you wanted. Are your relationships in a good place? Is your health in a good place? Are you doing things that actually like fill you with joy and passion? Or are you doing things that drain the life out of you? Or are you doing things that drain the life out of you because you're trying to please someone else? You know, there's a lot of things that we end up doing that are really actually, I think, destroying our health, destroying our joy, and sucking the life out of us, that we actually could cut out or let go of. That right there is going to be like your first step to self-care. And if you're like already doing this and you're truly doing everything you can, and you're setting boundaries and you're eating healthy and you're taking care of your physical health and your mental health and, you know, your spiritual health, and you're still exhausted, then maybe you need to go check yourself into a hotel for a few days and let it all go and get some much needed rest and get some room service and have a spa day. But I fully believe that most of these people these days who are binging for self-care aren't truly taking care of themselves. Their self-care is a drug that makes them feel good for the moment. And then after a week of treating themselves like crap again, they need another hit. So if that's your take on self-care right now, it's time to stop. Look at your life and truly take care of yourself. Love yourself and do what you need to do. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to grow a 6 and 7 figure business and you're not practicing self-care, then you're who I really want to talk to right now. Do you think that burning the candle at both ends, day and night, taking on every project under the sun is going to serve you? How can you serve your audience if you aren't energized, if you're not excited? You know, I want you guys to just take some time. No matter who you are, what you're doing with your life, I want you to set aside some time to really assess what you're doing day in and day out. What things are you doing that are draining the life out of you? And maybe for you, self-care looks like hiring a VA or hiring a housekeeper. Lessen that load that you have placed on yourself so that you have more time to work in your zone of genius and to work on what you're passionate about. Because you're not going to be able to fulfill your purpose on this earth and live out the life you've always wanted to live if you are completely burned out and stretched too thin and overwhelmed to the point of exhaustion. That's not going to serve anybody. It's certainly not going to serve yourself. And going out and having a binge shopping day or a binge eating day or drinking all night long or partying on the weekends just to escape reality, that is not serving you, and it's not self-care. It's actually making you more exhausted and more unhealthy, and it's just going to be this endless cycle of work hard, hustle hard, and then binge on the weekends. And that's just not the life that you were called to live. And I fully believe as an entrepreneur, if you've been called to serve the world in a certain way and you're not taking care of yourself first, you're not going to be able to serve the world or your audience. And so I just want to challenge you guys today that if you are not practicing self-care, to actually start with these basics. Take care of yourself. Make your bed. Treat yourself with respect. Treat yourself the way that you would treat someone that you love. Would you tell your kids to, work hours on end, not take care of themselves, not eat healthy, just get the work done? No, I don't think you would. And so I just want to encourage you guys to start doing the little steps, the discipline, because even though it is a discipline and it can be hard to get started, it is going to pay off so huge for you. And then when you do get to book that spa day, you're actually going to enjoy it because you're not escaping your reality. You're actually living in the present and enjoying the moment and enjoying the reward of the hard work that you've put in. And so I want you all to have a spa day. I want you to book a spa day and I want you to enjoy it. Or if you don't like the spa and you want to go on a vacation or you want to go shopping or you want to go out to a fancy restaurant, all those things are amazing and you should do them, but you should do them in celebration of this big life that you're living and not as an escape. Doing the hard work makes life so much sweeter. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to be living your most purposeful life. And sometimes that's not easy. And sometimes it takes work, but it's so worth it in the end. And it's actually this really holistic thing. It's not just about having an amazing business. It's not just about going on vacations. It's about the little things. It's about the little moments that we have every single day of our life and choosing to be purposeful with everything we do, with the commitments we make, with the relationships we're in, with the projects we take on at work, with the activities that we fill in our free time, the hobbies that we participate in. It's all connected. And it does not need to be separated. But the one thing all of those things are connected to is you. Is your spirit, your soul, your mental health. Everything you do revolves around you. And so take care of yourself first and then enjoy the rest of it, because this life is way too short to not really enjoy every single moment. So I hope this encourages you guys. I didn't want to bring anybody down, but I just had to bring this up because I feel like there's a lot of people who are actually missing out on the joy of self-care. They're missing the point, and there is just so much more joy in your life when you take care of yourself first. So thanks for listening, you guys. I know this was a quick, short episode, but it was something that was on my heart and I really wanted to share with you guys. If you are not in my challenge that's going this week, you still can join. We are going through 4 live trainings and challenges, and this is for all my business owner purpose babes out there. So it's not too late to join. If you want to join us, go to CorieClark.com/challenge. The challenge ends this week, and I'll keep the videos up for a few days after it's over, and then I'll be pulling them down. So if you want to join us, you are more than welcome. We're having a lot of fun in there. There is ladies from all over the world in there, and we even have a couple guys in there too, so anyone is welcome. We have jewelry makers, we have bloggers, we have makeup artists, we have coaches. I mean, we've got it all. So you are welcome. Go to CorieClark.com/challenge, and then I'll have all that information in the show notes at CorieClark.com/21. And I will see you right back here next week on Purpose.